Giuntoli'S gives us another name to add at striker list for target, all right? And then the young guns. We're going to talk Yildiz, Soulé, Iling Jr., and what their status looks like and what the future could hold, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. I'm Alberto. We're Lakeside. Let's rock. We're going to kick things off with our legend, our icon, Gianluigi Buffon, having a massive offer out of Saudi Arabia for 15 million euros per season. Now, the reports suggest that he's going to reject it and he is closer to retiring, and the selfish part of me would actually like him to retire, but can any of you figure out why? It affects all of us at the channel. Now, we're going to get to the young guns, okay? So Soulé is against it and adamant about not going out on loan. However, the future might hold a sale for him, and Juve's valuating him at 25 million euros. Feyenoord is interested in the player, and the deal could get done around 18 to 20 million euros, so he does not want to go out on loan. However, he could be sold, all right? So we have to keep tabs on that one. Pogba has returned to Continassa, okay? He will be joined by Fagioli, De Sciglio, and Caio Jorge, and they're gonna be training and recovering ahead of the rest of the team before they get back in about a week and a half's time, all right? And they'll start trickling in, so good to see. Now, Pogba, he needs to get his act together as far as the fitness goes and hopefully play a bigger part, but what could that mean for Yildiz? So Yildiz is being named as the potential player coming out of next gen that could help out in case Pogba's body's not fit. So this one is kind of throwing me for a little bit of a loop as far as what we're expected to do systematically and formation wise, if he is being listed as the possible guy that should help out in case of Pogba not being able to get fit. So that tells us that they're looking at him in terms of a creative role and whatnot. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I personally think nothing's going to change. Kenan Yildiz is going to be part of the US tour, so for all of us North American fans, we're going to be watching Juve on tour. It's going to be exciting to see him play, but in terms of playing him in a role that we were going to use Pogba, the only way I could see that is if we were looking to play 4-2-3-1 and Pogba was going to be behind the striker, kind of like when he did return back this season. Then that would be interesting for Yildiz, but I still think it's a long shot to expect Yildiz to be in our first team and getting consistent minutes. We'll have to see what happens. Now, we're going to move on to Iling Jr. Iling Jr., the latest is Juve does not want to sell him, okay? So Juve want to keep him. All the news we're hearing is the same. Juve wants some type of commitment out of Iling Jr. beyond the contract year that he's on, which would end in 2025. However, if they're not getting that, this kind of makes them feel like they might have to sell him this summer rather than go into his final year of contract, and he's got a lot of interest. So Iling Jr.'s name's still creeping up a lot in terms of a potential sale, all right? So we have to wait and see what happens there. Nobody wants to see him go, but it might actually come down to it. Now, Giuntoli'S, we're waiting. The countdown is set. There's also some reports stating in a few hours here we'll get an official announcement from Juventus. There are also rumblings about a press conference held July 10th. We have to wait and see. However, there are new names popping up as targets, and one of them is Jonathan David as striker should VLAHOVIC leave. Now, however, it is kind of tricky because Lille would want 50 million euros for Jonathan David, so I'm not sure if we'd be able to swing that. And not only that, I like Jonathan David, but for 50 million euros, and this brings me back to my one point. If we're going to move Chiesa, if we're going to move Bremer, if we're going to move VLAHOVIC, one of those players, I'm not liking the list of names that are coming back the other way should we move them financially. So, and even Jonathan David, I like it, but at 50 million euros, I'm not so sure I do. So it's a very, very tricky spot Juventus in, and nonetheless, we have new names on target with Giuntoli'S coming in that he likes, but he does also like Højlund, who's been on our target list for a while. Laporte apparently is a concrete option to come in at center back, but the reports don't suggest if that's with Bremer leaving or actually coming in with Bremer staying. Our goal should be to find him a main partner with him remaining. However, we'll have to see what happens. And last, certainly not least, okay, we have a done deal apparently. So my sources are telling me that the deal for Zakaria is all but done. It is practically finished. They're just working on minor details. he's telling me Zakaria is going to be the next one listed to be heading out, all right? So we have to wait and see. And he did tell me something else about Allegri, but I'm not going to share it just yet. Everybody, that wraps up your daily update video. Hope you enjoyed it. Lakeside with the beautiful scenery, all right? You know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, but let me know what you think about all the news you heard here today, and let's mix it up. And tomorrow, I'll be back home in the studio, all right? Fino alla fine, forza Juve, ciao tutti.